Welcome to The Explainer. The AI boom is built on a secret, and it's a secret that could bring the whole thing to a grinding halt. See, we're running out of power. So today, we're going to dig into the radical solution that's turning big tech into its own utility company, and believe it or not, completely reshaping America's energy landscape. This is a story about tech, yeah, but it's also about economics and, maybe most importantly, national security.
Okay, this single slide, this captures the entire problem right here. On the left, you've got the AI market growing at an explosive 40% a year. But on the right, that's the reality of our infrastructure, a 4 to 7 year wait just to connect a new data center to the grid. Technology is moving at the speed of light, and our power grid is stuck in the slow lane. So you can see how this mismatch creates a massive bottleneck. It's a full-blown crisis, really. People are calling it the speed-to-power crisis. The insane demand for AI compute is slamming right into the hard physical limits of our national power grid, and it's forcing the entire tech industry to think completely differently.
To give you a sense of the scale we're talking about, look at this number, 2 gigawatts. A single brand new AI data center campus can demand up to 2 gigawatts of power. That is not a typo. That's the same amount of power as 2 large nuclear reactors. It's enough electricity to power a city the size of Philadelphia, all for just one campus. It's wild.
Well, this power crunch has totally upended the data center industry. I mean, for decades, developers were chasing fast internet connections, fiber optics and big tax breaks. Not anymore. Now, the single most important factor is speed to power. How fast can we get juice to this thing? Literally. Everything else has become secondary.
So, how in the world do you build at the speed of technology when the grid just can't keep up? Well, the answer is as simple as it is revolutionary. You just cut the cord. You stop waiting around for the utility company and you build your own power plant right there on site.
And the numbers on this table really tell the whole story, don't they? Just look at that top row, the timeline. A microgrid can be designed, built, and humming along in under 2.5 years. Now compare that to the old way, where you could be waiting up to 8 years. For the AI industry, that 5-year difference, it's not just an inconvenience, it's an eternity. The game is over before you even get to play. So what is a microgrid, really? In essence, it's a power island. It's a self-contained energy ecosystem that gives a data center complete and total autonomy. It can work while connected to the bigger grid, sure, but the crucial part is that it can disconnect and run completely on its own. We call that island mode. And that shields it from blackouts, from grid instability, from everything. Okay, so what exactly is powering these on-site grids? Well, it's not just one thing. Think of it more like a hybrid arsenal of different energy technologies, all custom-built to provide super reliable 24/7 power. Right now, natural gas is often the go-to. It acts as a reliable bridge fuel, mainly because you can get it up and running so quickly. But the future and what everyone's really excited about is this diverse mix you see here. It's designed for constant, carbon-free operation using a whole combination of next-generation technologies. And maybe the most game-changing technology in this whole arsenal is the small modular reactor, or SMR. Now, I want you to forget those giant cooling towers from the past. Think of these as tiny assembly line nuclear plants. They're small enough to be built in a factory and then shipped to a site, which makes them absolutely perfect for powering a data center. And hey, SMRs are not some far-off sci-fi concept. As this table shows, tech giants like Amazon are already pouring billions into these specific developments. They're betting on all kinds of different tech, from high-temp gas to molten salt, but the goal is exactly the same. They're not just buying power anymore, they're becoming the primary funders of new nuclear infrastructure, all to secure their own future. Now, to guarantee 100% uptime, you need massive on-site batteries, especially if you're using renewables like solar, and the tech has to match the need. So while lithium-ion batteries are great for quick, short-term grid balancing, what we're seeing is this huge shift toward long-duration storage, like these vanadium flow systems. They can keep a data center running for nearly a full day. That's how you make renewables reliable, 24/7. But this whole shift, it isn't just about technical necessity. The economics are now unbelievably compelling. And it's creating entirely new business models for the tech industry. It's about way more than just electrons. Just look at this chart.
For the very first time, building and running your own hybrid microgrid can be way cheaper than just buying power from the utility. That microgrid bar, sitting at about $98 per megawatt hour, that is less than half the cost of buying power from the grid during peak hours, when prices can just skyrocket above $200. But here's where it gets really, really interesting. This is the big twist in the story. With their own power plants right on site, data centers can now sell their extra electricity back to the grid. They can turn what used to be a massive cost into a new way to make money. And they do this through something called a virtual power plant, or a VPP. Basically, by linking up their on-site power generation, a bunch of data centers can act like one single large power plant. So when the main grid gets strained, like, say, during a massive heat wave, they can pump their extra power into the system to prevent blackouts. And they get paid for it. They go from being a problem to being part of the solution, and a profitable one at that. Okay, let's zoom out for a second, because this transformation isn't just about corporate profits. This has huge implications for America's strategic position in the world.
The bottom line is pretty simple. If American companies can't get the power they need here at home, they'll just be forced to build their AI infrastructure somewhere else. And if that happens, we risk giving up American leadership in what is, without question, the single most important technology of the 21st century. Reliable domestic power, it's become a geopolitical necessity.
And what's really interesting is that state governments are hitting the gas on this trend. Laws are popping up all over the country that basically force what you could call energy accountability. You've got Illinois demanding that data centers bring their own clean energy. Texas is making them pay 100% of the cost for any grid upgrades they need. All these policies are just making the financial case for building your own microgrid, well, undeniable. So where is all this headed? What does the future look like? Well, what we're witnessing is the birth of a totally new energy landscape. It's one that's more decentralized, a lot smarter, and way more resilient than anything we've ever had before. Experts are now predicting that by 2030, almost a third of all new data center sites will be powered mainly by their own on-site microgrids. Think about that. This is going to effectively decouple the growth of our digital economy from the physical limits of the old centralized grid. So instead of just being this massive drain on our power, these new, intelligent data centers are actually becoming allies to the grid. They can help stabilize it, they can reduce demand when we need it most, and this is the big one. They can use their immense capital to finance and fast-track the next generation of clean energy for everybody. And this all leaves us with a final and pretty provocative thought. We are literally watching some of the world's biggest and richest technology companies become, for all intents and purposes, major new power utilities. So what happens next? Well, that won't just reshape technology. It's going to redefine the very nature of power itself.